All right. Well, I'm home from my regular job today. This week, I'm on vacation. I work at Framingham State University, where I'm in the digital engagement department, and just always like to let people know what my background is. I'm actually a minor league play-by-play broadcaster, which you could probably tell from looking at my YouTube page. 25 years in the business. I'm right now with the Worcester Red Sox. I'm number two broadcaster. I don't go on road trips. I was just full time in baseball until the pandemic, and then things just didn't work out being full time, and now I'm doing it part time. But I love this. I have a passion for DFS. That's why I do this. I like season long fantasy stuff, but I'm not. I'm more into the DFS. So what we do is we recap my lineups, we chat with all of you, and what not a better time than 12:34 on this day, because we can take comments. I'm sure people are working hard, right? Crazy NFL slate with all the games, and I look at it like this. I was just listening to the radio, and I was listening, and I heard like all these people talking about how it's not fair that this team had to play here, and games were on Tuesdays. Now people are going to play on Sundays. Listen, we're in a pandemic still, and professional athletes are making money. Broadcasters, a lot of people are making good money off this. If there's going to be a little inconvenience right now, it's not the end of the world. Those are not, and I get in the sports world, they don't really relate to what is going on elsewhere, but like honestly, gives you more DFS slates. That's what I love. All right, this was a showdown I played the other night. You know what? I use Fantasy Labs, and I don't usually use an optimal lineup. This is not, but one of the optimal lineups that they spit out that you can that gave me ceiling was playing the Vikings captain, and I didn't do it, and they were right. But showdowns are tough. I think to win showdowns, I really think you need to mass enter those. I think that's the only way. It's tough to do one bullet. I haven't had a lot of. I can't remember making more than $2 in a $1 entry. I mean, that's not bad. 488. I was only 13 points off first place, but it's close and it's not close because there's so many people in front of you. All right, last week wasn't great. I made a huge mistake. Did not do well on DraftKings at all. It's getting harder because of the pricing and finding value, and it's so easy to overthink. I'll take you through my process, but I don't usually use late swap. I need to start doing that because I play 10-man tournaments, and I had him and that in the 4 o'clock window, and I really should have got out of mix, and that was not a good matchup. I was really going for volume here instead of matchups. Harris didn't really have a great matchup, and his volume was terrible. I mean, he got 14 touches. The volume, I guess, wasn't horrible, but matchup's not good. There was plenty of value in better spots. Let's take a look at, and I always build running backs first. I'll take you through my process. I mean, look at the running backs he started. I go with home favorites, roll in the passing game. I like the home, possibly 20-plus touches and potential to score a touchdown. I'm also okay with playing road running backs who are favorites. But they were home. They were, I think, maybe that was a pick 'em. The Robinson pick was fine. It was chalk. And, this person who finished one, this is more of a GPP lineup because he's a little mini stack with Prescott and Schultz. So, I went with that. I liked at 5,400. I don't like Jacksonville. And I think it's funny that they got blown out because everyone's blaming Urban Meyer. Yeah. Players have nothing to do with it. Ownership has nothing to do with it. Just Urban Meyer, right? another topic for another day. So I start with that. I always play a running back and a flex in cash games. But, this just wasn't really, those weren't great matchups. I loved these three. And I don't care that Adams had 44. He scored. That in a cash game, you're looking for about 2.5 points. I'll take that. And he was pretty popular in this mini 40%. Wow. And then I just, I went with value in, 3,700. Starting receiver, Parker. I think those three worked out. This sucked. Cash game. That's don't play Hail Marys in cash games. I love that price for Prescott. Just didn't get there, Didn't work out against the Giants. Ugly game. Seen a lot of ugly games. So that was how my DraftKings, I cashed, I think, in one GPP. It was this one. I do the 3 max. So I do $16 worth of cash games, which consist of mainly 50-50s, a couple of head-to-heads. Then I do a 3, 5, 10 player, triple up, quintuple up. Yeah, triple up, quintuple. Say quintuple. Let's see. So this was my best. Aaron Rodgers was the play of the week. I don't know why he was so low owned. 128.50 up against the 222 was the winning lineup. I loved Huntley. Don't know. Oh, geez. I was so close to plugging him in my cash game. So went with an Allen, Morris, Knox. Diggs was the play. I just was trying to get a little different. Wilson I loved in GPPs, 5,000 against Atlanta. Stuck with the chalk there. And then I went with another stack of Bateman and Adams, but it was really Adams and Andrews. St. Brown was on my lists. He's on my list again this week. I make a little lists. I can show you this. I love this guy. Alvin, follow my boy Alvin on YouTube. These is $5 running backs. These are receivers I like this week. St. Brown, Gage, Cooks, Antonio Brown. So, yeah, I kind of like this lineup, in 128.50. You look at the upside with Allen, Moore. I thought DJ Moore, he was the bring back. But the way Bateman had played, and when you watch that game against the Packers, Huntley just locked in on Andrews. So that was DraftKings. FanDuel, much better. I'm getting close to winning. I do small GPPs, and I tell, this is another thing that I like to talk about, and it's not a holier-than-thou moment. Let me just Google, DraftKings promos. Yeah, I just want to find, DraftKings money. I'll do this, $1 million prizes. See if we can come up with anything see like this. I know I always hear a lot of people, they get mad when they see a lot of this. Oh, I'm told this. Look at this. Guaranteed and all that. Turns $27 into $1 million and all. Yeah, that's possible. And a lot of people that are doing that have been playing for a long time, and they're good at it. And it's not false advertising because someone does win those prizes. And it's not, I know there are sharks. I know that people think that, people are colluding and doing, and that does all happen. But in the end, if you have a process and make your best lineups and get good at your game, you're going to have success in this. We have one thing we've lost in our society now, that our fathers of yesterday had a great work ethic, and they worked so hard for little. And a lot of people that are famous or do well, they do work hard. I think we're kind of misled maybe through social media, or maybe we think people, oh, this guy's on TikTok and he made $1 million over. And it does happen. I want my YouTube page to grow, but I realize like you have to work at that. People that have good content and have millions of followers, they're making good quality videos and spending a lot of time. I don't spend as much time maybe as I should on this, but it's the time I have allowed to it. So it all comes back to finding what works for you. And with winning in DFS, it does take a while. And there is like ways to do it. I believe in playing small stakes right now. I don't play a lot. I have money to spend more. I play $20 on DraftKings, FanDuel, and I play $10 to $12 on Super Draft, which I'll show you, and I do some prize picks. I don't spend more than $60, $65 in a weekend. I don't think there's a problem with that because I'm up about only like 165. And I can show you too. I'll show you this. I will not hide. I make a DFS winning sheet. This is my DK on NFL. I haven't been good in the hole there. That's minus 55, but in Super Draft, I'm up. So that puts me plus 4. Yahoo. So let's call that 10. Owner's box, I'm up 34. 44. NBA, up 26. 70. Haven't played NHL. And prize picks, 73. That's 144. And on Thrive, I'm up 23. So I'm about 167 right now since the start of the NFL season. You take out the NBA, and, I'm at about 141. But I don't play a lot, so I don't mind that. And I have a system that what I do that I think works for me right now. And I've thought about playing more because what I've learned is the smaller, the better. All right? This is a hint. I know that the larger contest, your odds aren't as good, even at a nickel. Like, look at this. Let's do full roster, okay? Yeah, I can put in 150 lineups. It does pay 30%, which is good, of the field. So I would spend $7.50. And just to get my money back, I'd have to have one lineup. Not one more, but you'd want to get some lineups, in this range, which means out of 480,000 people, I understand you're putting 150 lineups in, hoping to get in here. Why do that? If you have more money to spend, like look at, if you're someone that can spend more, all right, let's do this. I know I'm getting off track here, but I do want to help some people. Get the Roto Grinders add-on here so you can see what. So this shows you what percentage pays 23% of the field. That means 30 out of 1105 divided by gets that number. I like to do between 25 is where. Let's see what this is. 25 to 30 is what you want. 23 is not bad. Cash games, obviously, 50%. But look at these contests. Look at this. 47 people. I understand it's $25. And I know it pays 17%. But you only have to beat 46 people to win $300. I know $750 is cheaper than $25, but you're putting 150 lineups with 480,000 other people that could, think about all those lineups. This is one bullet. If you finished 8th, you more than double your money. Those are the things I would, if I had a little bit more of a budget, these are the contests I'd start playing. And that's what I think a lot of the pros play. And I've seen it. I've seen their lineups. And guys that I follow, you can see on YouTube, they are playing those contests. And when you play those contests, and it's all going to go back to this, to my FanDuel, because I think FanDuel's got some smaller contests that I always do in tournaments, always single entry. I don't play any mass multi entries unless I do the 3 max on DraftKings, but I won't even put one lineup in a 20 max. But look at something like this. $50. This is a dummy lineup that I'm looking at for next week. 23 out of 112 people get a prize. All right? $1,000 means that you only have to beat 111 people for $1,000. I would rather throw $50 in one shot to beat 111 than to throw 150 lineups into a 480,000 contest at $7.50. This, even though it pays lower percentage, it's still, you can't use, you can't have those big, optimized lineups. Now go to if you have money, winner take all contest. These guys are all, I know these guys, Chipotle Addict. 1,000, you have to beat 10 people. Look at this small blitz for $100. Prizes, 2 prizes, meaning this pays 40%. All right? You put in $100 and you have to beat 3 people to get $50 back. These contests, you're going to cash way more if you had that kind of money. $75. Look at this. 757 entries. 150 to 1. So those are the things, and then if you go even more, some of these contests are insane. I don't think there's a $50,000 contest. I don't believe. Look at this. If you could do this. 14 people. 65 to. So the reason I bring that up is because when you get to smaller contests, your lineups don't have to be so throwing darts. And I'm starting to rethink a lot of it. I'm trying to go with the best lineups, and if I use darts, they're darts that have some purpose to it. Like a Russell Gage I played last week, or St. Brown from Detroit. Those guys are kind of off the radar, smaller price but darts that are good darts. Like last night I played that Eskridge guy from Seattle. I don't think he had a target. That was kind of a Hail Mary, but you don't need to do that in the smaller games. Like I did last night in the 2-person, I just missed cashing. But you look at this lineup. This is now 2-game slates can be harder because you can have more duplicate, but 1190, 1 bullet, and look at the winning lineup. Would you think any of these guys are, Hurts, Gibson, Sanders, Kupp, Devontae Smith, Metcalf? Okay, the only kind of dart he threw in that lineup was Ricky Seals-Jones. I don't think Seattle, and you could say Seattle, but against a team that throws a lot in GPPs and with 4 teams on the slate, Seattle is not a bad pay down because the defense can make plays. So you look at my lineup. I thought I went for 2 running backs that I thought were going to get a lot of carries. I didn't want to do the Hurts and Sanders, and that was good because they do run a lot, and that's a lot of yardage. And he went, and that was the right play. I just thought that Penny would just get the majority, and he didn't. DJ Dallas ended up playing, but maybe thinking them losing would have, prompt to not. But Gibson was an underdog, and then these were locks. I thought Beckham would be better. He had the first catch came on the first drive, and then I did the double stack of Smith and Goddard and stay with the Eagles defense. So, not 26 points off from winning $50. Didn't have to get that chalky. Leads me to my GPP lineup, and I'm getting close at these. I play these GPPs exclusively. So, and I'm going to show you what I mean. I play $20, like I said. $4 of the 20 are GPPs. I play 3 $1 11.76 contest, and I play 1 bigger contests, and you'll see the difference in scores. These are single entries, you see, but with more people to that people, the difference in lineup scores. Lower the lineup total of people, the less nuts you have to get. And this is what happens, what people do. Do this. I like to do this. And listen, a lot of people tell me, well, they're throwing all this stuff in my face. Then eliminate it. Go to that. Go to single entry. It's easy. Just do that. Get rid of all of that. Just go to $1. That's what I do. All right? Full roster. Tournaments. Buy prizes. I know people immediately, and they'll have more contests out. But you'll see, that this obviously sticks out. It pays, there's 25%, but you have to beat a lot of people just to get $1 back. Where in this, same thing. It pays less, but you don't have to beat as many people to get $150 back. I've had more success with these contests, and a lot of it's because the lineups. You'll see. Let's go to my 20, let's call it 24,000 single entry GPP, which I went with Rogers, which this percentage number was going in was so wrong. Everyone had him percent. I don't know why sites were forecasting him at like 4 to 5%. It's Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers with Adams. I went with Lazard. We'll see what the winning lineup at 171. Huntley, of course, with no bring back. So get my stack. Did not do a return piece, and this probably should have with Andrews. I thought the Singletary play was great. 2 running backs here that I thought were home favorites. Robinson was. Lamb, I wanted a piece of that Dallas game, just didn't work out. Johnson, Kittle, who I loved. This lineup just it wasn't good. This lineup that I was in the top 5 for a while, finished 15th, won $10. Look at the winning score. 10. So, and I know what people are saying. Well, when I looked at that other contest, I saw that there was a better percentage to win. There is, but the scores are better. So this winning lineup, the scores in the cash line weren't that high because it's less players and it's single entry. I mean, look at this. Last winning position, 115.72. That's like a cash game score. I put one of my cash. That's an obtainable. If we go back to that big tournament, I could be wrong here. I just want to check. The last winning position probably had a higher score. Oh, it didn't. It had lower. Well, 38 cents. Yeah, look at all these multiple lineups, too. That's the other thing. Yeah, so that's the other thing you face, too, with these more multiple lineups. That was the other thing I wanted to bring up. A 113.64 netted you $1. Where a 115.72 netted you $150. I still think it's better, smaller, less experienced people. But the top score is always lower that I've noticed than the bigger GPPs that are single entry. That's why I like these smaller contests. And I'll walk you through my process. I mean, I was almost, I'm getting close to these. Rodgers to Adams, that was it. Did no bring back, just did a small stack because there were other guys I wanted to get in there, like Cooks, Johnson, Gage, and Kittle. Jacksonville, not a good play. So I like this lineup. Maybe a bring back would have been better. Could have gone Andrews for Kittle and gone Adams for Johnson and played Andrews and Kittle. I thought about doing that. That would have probably won. I mean, basically, You know, defense, if I would have played Houston, you know, it would have been good. So the cash game was good in FanDuel. I play smaller ones. Yeah, look at that, 113.88. Never pay up for quarterbacks. I never do. I do this week, and Kyler Murray craps the bed. But this is the other thing. You know, a lot of people complain about 100-man 50-50s now with duplicate lineups. Well, I play smaller contest. So there was 3 113.80s. Those are optimized lineups from a site. I don't know from who. You know, duplicate here, but the duplicates are going to be less. So basically I went for volume. Robinson, Harris, Elliott. You know, volume favorites. Loved Adams, loved David, loved St. You know, St. Brown actually helped me win this. You know, it was that. Super drafts. I had a love super draft. You see my balance it's climbing. Did 750 here, but so I lost money on my 50-50s, but I had this was a voucher, so I ended up cashing in this 16th, and then in a free one I was 4th. I won $11 on that, so I ended up with a positive week on. And if you've not seen, I love super drafts, so it's by multiplier, and for me, having Hundley as a starting quarterback with rushing upside at 1.75, which is really easy if you don't know how this works. It takes the we don't want to watch this. Takes the total fantasy points, multiplies it. So there's that compulsion to always go with the high multiplier, but it doesn't always work. In tournaments it does. I'll go back to my cash game lineup. But you see, this is the tournament winning lineup. You know, I think a lot of it's just good plays. Like these guys that he played were in good positions. They weren't just good multiplier plays. So like Rashad Bateman was a good multiplier play. Was it a really good play? No. You know, at the end of the day, that wasn't a great play. A lot of these, you know, these guys were in good spots for the multiplier. Good spot. Davis, you know, I don't know. I had him. Cooks, St. Brown, Knox. These are all good so those were all in good spots. And I play some, you know, lower multiplier where you don't get as many points because they're going to score higher. And even though look at this, I mean, I crap the bed on, that's what's good about this. I mean, I really crap the bed on 4 guys in a GPP lineup. Lamb, Adams, Bateman, like think of it, even Kittle. But one player at that percentage put me 16th. And again, look at how many people, 325. I was 16th. So my point again, and even on this, most GPP, if this is a 50,000 person, they might have contests like this. I'm not cashing by missing on 1, 2, 3. I mean, really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players I missed on. And still finished that high. All right. Enjoy. Keep winning. Thanks for watching the stream.